Meghan Markle here.
Today is November 23rd, 2025. It is 4:50 a.m. So let's continue recording. This is video number 2. Video number 1, I was talking about one of the royal vat who wrote an article about Meghan going makeup free. That was the last tweet on that video. Okay, I kept it short. All right, next tweet, different topics. I have a feeling Oprah may have said something similar like this to Meghan Sussex. Quote, all the haters can hate on. They can say whatever they want to say. It cannot be touched when you live God's dream for you, Oprah. Okay, let's listen to this. 33 seconds, screenshot.
All the haters can hate on. They can say whatever you want to say. They can do it cannot be touched when you live God's dream for you. What is God's dream for you? Can you step into what God's dream is for you instead of you trying to figure out what the dream is and what to do and where to go and the next thing?
All right. So that could have easily fit on my last video as well. So there's no comment. Let's go to the next tweet. All right. So this one I saw. It's not a squatty. Well, maybe a squatty. No, I don't even follow this person. Why was it on my timeline? But I responded to it, so that's why I put it. I still see the ad deranger claim the opposite based on some edible movie cover rating website, but Meghan has never claimed to be white. Okay, maybe that's why I put it. I read the caption and I put it. Let's listen.
White passing people like Pope Leo are totally different than white presenting people like Rashida. This man, Babe Ruth, is white passing. This kid, Logic, is white presenting. J. Edgar Hoover, white passing. Meghan Markle, white presenting. White presenting is not white passing. White passing is intentionally pretending to be white when you're not. White passing requires intentionality. You are trying to be perceived as white.
What? What? That's not Meghan at all. Okay, so I'm glad I put that video that I put where Meghan was talking about racism.
Times in history, thousands of people, black people who were white presenting, moved to another town and took on a new name perhaps and sort of disappeared into whiteness. They became, for all intents and purposes, white. They stopped communicating with their family, and as far as the world knew, this is a white person.
No, there's a reason why Meghan is not talking to her family. Did you guys know what her father did to her?
Right. So that may have been one of the things that upset her. And of course, the photographs were a setup. I was set up by a guy named Jeff Rayner and another guy named Dylan Howard, who was with American Media, I think. And the whole thing was a plan to actually mess up the wedding.
Leading up to the wedding? And the sister calling her to court and do all of this stuff? She has a reason for not talking to them. Not because she married a royal family and then all of a sudden she neglect her family. They did something to her. And they continue to. Oh my God. Oh my. He should stay out of that.
This would be very difficult to do in the modern world where there's lots of technological footprints for all of us. It would be very difficult to trick people nowadays. I know a lot of white people were like, we didn't know that Meghan Markle was what, and even some black people, but the black people who worked with her, like I spoke to Malcolm Jamal Warner about working with her on Suits. He was like, yes, it was clear to me and us that she was black, and more importantly, it was clear to her. We need you to say white presenting. You can also say white assumed. Passing is an active choice, mostly born out of survival. Back in the day, people passed because it gave them more power, more freedom, more opportunity in life. I guess to a certain extent that is still true, but passing requires intentionality. We're not saying that this person / tried to make you think that he was white, but if they knew that this man was black, do you think they would have elected him Pope?
So there's me here. I remember Meghan Sussex saying this. I posted this like almost an hour ago. Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, participated in USA Network's I Won't Stand For campaign. I Won't Stand For Racism. Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex. Let's listen to it. It will be a screenshot, okay? Let me go into it so it will be bigger.
My name is Meghan Markle, and I'm here because I think it's a really important campaign to be a part of. For me, I think it hits a really personal note. I'm biracial. Most people can't tell what I'm mixed with, and so much of my life has felt like being a fly on the wall. And so some of the slurs that I've heard, or the really offensive jokes, or the names, it's just hit me in a really strong way. And then, you know, a couple years ago, I heard someone call my mom the N-word. So I think for me, beyond being personally affected by racism, just to see the landscape of what our country is like right now, certainly the world, and to want things to be better. Quite honestly, your race is part of what defines you. I think what shifts things is that the world really treats you based on how you look. Certain people don't look at me and see me as a black woman or a biracial woman. They treat me differently, I think, than they would if they knew what I was mixed with. And I think that is, I don't know, it can be a struggle as much as it can be a good thing depending on the people that you're dealing with. Leaving LA, it was sort of like leaving this bubble where I was used to everything and had been exposed to everything except for a closed-mindedness that I experienced when I traveled outside of where I was from. And I think that in doing that, it just really opened my eyes to a mentality that still exists that I thought was backdated to the days of when my grandfather moved our family from Cleveland to LA, and they drove across the country and to stop and get food, whatever kind of place they were going to, and they had to go around to the back to get food for the family. You know, I thought that that was really isolated to those days that we were past, and sadly they're not. I am really proud of my heritage on both sides. I'm really proud of where I've come from and where I'm going. But yeah, I hope that by the time I have children, that people are even more open-minded to how things are changing, and that having a mixed world is what it's all about. And certainly it makes it a lot more beautiful and a lot more interesting.
I'm glad she did some of these things before even marrying into the royal family. She literally, all of her footprint was already on social media. It's very sad that the UK didn't see that, the royal family in particular. Instead, they decided to go ravage on her. Is there more videos? That's an article. I don't want to go through all of this.
My name is Meghan Markle.
Okay, let's see here. He's right though. We lost most family members like that. Apathy and segregation really did a number on my people and country. It's a choice. Meghan has never presented as white. She's always spoken out against racism and never hiding her black heritage. Okay, so that's the example. We just listened to it. I didn't interrupt it at all. Next tweet. All right, this is an article from The Times. The Windsors are the most expensive royal family in Europe, with coronations, weddings, funerals, all funded by UK taxpayers. Norman Baker crunches the numbers. I'm not gonna read the article. We already know how expensive they are, and they just give themselves some raise. Here's a documentary that shows the true color of the Windsors. All right. The royal makes millions in profit each year, but this has always been shrouded in secrecy until now. A joint at Channel 4 dispatches and The Times investigation revealed that the King and Prince Williams are receiving public money through leasing. All right, let's listen to this. I know I've done videos about this already, but for the sake of this video, let me read some some of the tweets, and then the video and then I'll move on. Parasite abolished? I doubt it. I'm coming to your country next year and it's only because of the Windsors. Okay. Those millions could have been used to pay people enough to live or to nationalize our water supplies. What I learned couple years ago from the UK, and the US is doing it too, is sewage water. They throwing it back into the ocean without treating it. OMG, perhaps you need to employ writers who actually read the laws pertaining to the Crown estate and to whom it actually belongs. UK taxpayers' treasury actually earn money from the Crown estate, not vice versa. Alright, how much do they bring in the country? They are worth every penny. Alright, if you think so, but they're always making excuses for the royal family. There's 3 comments under it. No one can say exactly how much and how. It's exactly fascinating me that people keep saying it, not that much. Yeah, they compare it with Versailles. They're saying, look, they're not even funding any royalty, but the palace of Versailles is bringing a lot of money in. All right, let's listen to this and then I'll move on to the next tweet.
Tonight, what Charles and William aren't telling you about their secret millions. Their private estates, the Duchies of Lancaster and Cornwall, make Charles and William £50 million a year. But they have repeatedly refused to reveal exactly which properties they own.
Can we have a report on the list of properties?
I don't see why.
And details of how these estates make their staggering profits and from where have remained secret until now.
Wow.
God almighty.
This is a really, really important revelation.
Thousands of documents obtained by dispatches reveal how hard up government departments, schools, and even the NHS are helping to keep the cash rolling in for Charles and William.
Making money off us, making money off the poor person.
It's all shrouded in secrecy, isn't it? I don't know why we don't find out more about it, actually.
Our evidence shows how the commercial activities of these private estates are undermining their environmental commitments.
Well, this is the worst performing kind of property.
Well, we can reveal to you that the landlord we are talking about is the Duchy of Cornwall, which was managed for about 50 years by Charles, who is now the king,
Right.
and is now run by the queen.
Okay, that does surprise me.
I think when you own so much, it's hard to comprehend how people could appreciate such a small beach. They clearly don't understand who we are and what we value.
They are exempt from most of the taxes we all pay, and there are now calls for that to change.
This would be a brilliant time for the monarch to say, I'm going to be open and I want to be treated as fairly as anybody. It is public money, it's taxpayers' money. Your money, it's my money, it's the viewers' money.
Alright, so that's that. There will be a screenshot. I don't want to go through that. I have some videos that I discussed this already. Next tweet. The actual thing that Meghan does, the royal family should have highlighted, used her for, but decided to hide because she wasn't Kate or Camilla. They chose to malign her, to rewrite her history, but they forgot that we live in a digital age. They can erase Meghan Sussex. Alright? That's what they've been trying to do. Okay, if some of the squad did not do the pushback, I've said this so many times, our great-grandkids, when they're searching about Meghan, they were gonna see all the negative things about Meghan. And thank God, Meghan had already been in the public sphere. There's a lot of things she was doing privately and publicly with UN and things like that. So all of these were out there. So people who were following her from the get-go, okay? And they continue to follow her. Her authenticity aligned with so many people, they kept on following her. When she married and moved to the UK, they went along with her. Not physically, but in terms of the digital world, follow her through her journey going to the UK. And then the moment she got to the UK, they were seeing all this negativity. They put the stop. All right? The squad who were following her since she was from her beginning, they put their boxing gloves on and said, no, you're not gonna smear her name like that. All right? I wasn't part of that group, okay? Just to let you know, if you just stumble on my video. It's when they started talking negative about her, and my mind went into, wait a second, African American? There's no way. There is absolutely no way they will behave like this. She or any African American. Yeah, there might be, you know, we all are not the same. We all have our own personality. But Meghan, to be in that social class, there is absolutely zero way an African American at that level will be behaving the way the tabloid was saying. That was my question. That was my analysis. Me putting one and one together. I was like, there's no way. And I went and searched, and thank God the squad were already on Twitter. I was being flooded with information about Meghan. Okay? I would have thought by now they will stop the UK media, but they continue, so the squad continue doing the pushback. All right, so I read the caption, so let's listen. 40 seconds, there will be screenshot.
Before her royal philanthropy, Meghan volunteered at St. Felix Center, feeding the hungry. Meghan Markle herself was actually in this kitchen working.
This very same kitchen.
Meghan started volunteering after a referral from a friend. She began donating leftover food from the set of Suits.
That Thanksgiving donated all the items for the Thanksgiving meal.
She would bring in...
And I have a video about that particular thing she just said. Donating food from the set of Suits. The producer or someone who worked with her on Suits, who was higher up, spoke about it. Okay, after I finish this video, I'll put it.
Enough food and groceries to feed over 100 people.
Yeah, all the turkeys and the fixings.
And you know, Meghan would often bring other cast members and crew from Suits here to volunteer. She didn't keep this place a secret, and now everyone knows about the soon-to-be Duchess's great love for the city of Toronto. Guys, back to you. Before her royal philanthropy...
She knows what her presence mean to a certain place. That's why she didn't keep it a secret, so people could donate or donate their time or money or food or whatever. All right, so here's the video of, I think, the producer of Suits talking about Meghan's quest to donate leftover food from Suits. Here it is.
As we've got to know more about Meghan, we've learnt that she is someone who is also very sincere in her advocacy for charities. Is that something that you were aware of when you were making the show?
I remember early on, I think it was season 1 or season 2, she realized when we were finished with the crew lunches or dinners that a lot of times they were throwing the food away. And she thought it was crazy. Why are we throwing food away when there are people that are hungry around and we could give it to them? And she'd gone up the chain to try to get this food to be given away to people that were hungry. And there was some sort of policy or insurance or some bureaucracy that was getting in the way. And Meghan, this kind of sums up Meghan. She sees a problem. There's some sort of impediment to it that doesn't really make sense. She decides this impediment is harming people that are hungry from getting food. And I don't know how she did it, but the next thing you knew, we gave the food away to the hungry.
Okay, so let's read some of the comments. Oh, it's not that much. They also forget that while the British press hid William's party pictures and push Harry's, the American press didn't. And he was partying just as much, if not more than Harry. The royal family and the British media cannot erase Meghan or her children. See, this right here is why the royal family hates Duchess of Sussex, Meghan. She's a natural when it comes to charitable causes. And I think that's what really captivated Harry. Okay, I think they said it on their first date. That's what they were talking about, and that's why sort of got Meghan a date too.
But do you have that sense of responsibility, Prince Harry, for what you're asking Meghan to do? Of course, that sense of responsibility was essentially from day one, or maybe a couple of months in, when I suddenly realised actually this is, you know, I know that I'm in love with this girl, and I hope that she's in love with me. But we still had to sit down on the sofa, and I still had to have some pretty, you know, frank conversations with her to say that, you know, what you're letting yourself in for is, it's a big deal, and it's you know, it's not easy for anybody. But I know that, you know, at the end of the day, she chooses me and I choose her, and therefore, you know, whatever we have to tackle together or individually will always be us together as a team. So I think she's capable
So
of.
nicely said, isn't it?
I don't know. She's capable of anything. And together, as I said, there's a hell of a lot of stuff and work that needs doing. At the moment, for us, it's going to be making sure that our relationship is always put first. But no, look, both of us have passions for wanting to make change for good, and you know, with lots of young people running around the Commonwealth, that's where we're going to spend most of our time, hopefully.
And it was really one of the first things we connected on. It was one of the first things we started talking about when we met, was just the different things that we wanted to do in the world and how passionate we were about seeing change. I think that was, that's what got date 2 in the books, probably.
Plenty to talk about.
Okay. So they were being honest with each other, and when he realized she's doing all of that, it's like, that's it. And he knew. That's why it didn't take him too long to ask her to her hand of marriage. Okay, helping others doesn't seem like work to her, and doing good for others makes her happy. Prince Harry and her make the rest of them look bad, and deservingly so. Yeah. And this is what this caption said. Instead of highlighting it, they weaponize it instead, and that's what gets so many people upset. She's doing good things, but you're making it seem it's bad. So a lot of people are upset about that. And Harry told them to use Meghan to connect with the Commonwealth and things like that. And also, Meghan told them, okay, she doesn't mind being in the background to learn and maximize her potential.
Touched on it before. You have, it's well known, you've championed the empowerment of women and young girls and promoting their self-worth. How do you hope to continue that work with the Royal Foundation?
Yes, I mean, I think that knowing that I've just been here for 3 months, right? And in that amount of time, but with that said, for me, it's very important to, once you hit the ground running, even if you're doing it quietly behind the scenes, which is what I've focused my energy on thus far, is meeting with the right people, meeting with the right organizations behind the scenes quietly, learning as much as I can so that I can maximize the opportunity we have here to really make an impact.
And instead of the royal family using that and her to help them do the footwork, if they don't want to do it, Meghan and Harry were willing to do it. They could have used Meghan in that aspect as well, and then they just go cut ribbon and learn to give credit where credit is due. This is their problem. They want to show the world they are this genius. Not Harry and Meghan, the royal family. They want to show the world they are these geniuses, but they are freaking monsters. All right, next tweet. Meghan is their moneymaker. That's why they talk and write about her. They're more interesting in Meghan's than William's World Shot Prize or VID Early Childhood Initiative. They hate to admit it, but she is the one that got away. They are dismayed that she no longer acknowledges them. Rightly so, because they literally kicked her out. They told her to go back to America.
If you want to be private, go back to America and live privately. It's pretty straightforward.
And they mistreated her while she was over there. Why would you pay attention to someone who treated you the way that they did? These leftovers, the royal family, they thought too much of themselves. Okay, it's giving. How dare you not let us bully you into submission? We were supposed to be feared. You were supposed to be grateful. And Meghan said, LOL, absolutely not, and kept it moving. No, they are stuck with the unroyal left behind. That's that. Okay, but they want her because she's the one that doesn't want them. What they wanted, just like they said, go back to America and things like that. They wanted to insult her and say all sort of things. And then, well, they actually did it, They actually did it. Why am I talking about that? They actually did it. They wanted to be the one to look like they were the one to kick her out. They didn't want her. That's exactly what they did. But when Meghan was like, okay, if this is what you want, fine, I'm going, I'm leaving, and then forget about them. And now they expected her, as a result of them kicking her out, for her to be crying to go back. And then they wanted to still be on top saying, no, you're not coming in. No, we don't like you. No, you did this. But Meghan is not giving them the opportunity to do that. That's what it is, I think. All right, so they already did everything. Mistreated her, disrespect her. If some of you didn't see the week long during the Queen's funeral, the nonsense that was going on the tabloid, go back to some of my old videos. I highlight some of them. Okay, what is it? They mistreated her. This is what they wanted to continue doing, but Meghan is not acknowledging them. All right, so they did all of that already. Okay, they were expecting the usual royal approach choreography. We scroll, you fold. We hint, you apologize. We breathe aggressively, you retreat into the shadows. But instead, they got no. Meghan and the UK media, kindly take your finger out of my face. That's what she said to William. Harry told them that, but they ignore him as per usual. Now, Harry and Meghan are capitalizing on their own brilliance. Billy Idol and Katie won't come to Australia. Katie doesn't travel and they don't do royal tours. Don't want them here anyway. Oh, is that what they're going by now? Okay. Meghan Markle, the royal family doesn't need her. That's fine. So they should stop talking about her. Oops, there's me here. Okay, that's fine. This is why she's where she is, doing her own things. She's not asking anything from the royal family. The British media should stop talking about her. Royal Whites are traveling to the States to buy her product and complain about it. You people are some special kind of crazies. The world never seen people like you guys. I can't write anymore. Less black. Let's go to the next tweet. I started coughing. Alright, so this is a video. Let's pause. Okay, the lady commentator pointing down here is right. We haven't really seen a groundbreaking self-made woman in the royal family before Meghan. We may not again because the royal family do not want women to marry in and be amazing, particularly if they this is what I've said about William's kids, the boys. Any woman who married them, there's so many examples. I may not even be around when these kids get married, but any woman who marry in that family, I'm not saying they deserve what they receive, but there's a lot of examples from Princess Diana, Meghan, and look her and other women in the royal family, how they're treating them. We may not again because the royal family do not want women to marry in and be amazing, particularly if they're to be the spare's wife. They prefer her to be mediocre and easy to control. And you think they will learn what's going on now? I don't know how the future holds. Because if they did not learn from Princess Diana and they continued, they actually got worse with Meghan, what makes you think they're gonna change? It might even be worse. Alright, that's even if she loses her soul, sanity, and humanity in the process. Alright, let's go into this so it could be bigger and then I'll go back out. I don't just want to show up somewhere and wave my hand and feel like that's enough. Meghan. Alright, let's listen.
Meghan is groundbreaking. She's a self-made woman. She's also a self-made person. We've not really seen that in the royal family before.
I don't just want to show up somewhere and wave my hand and feel like that's enough. Like if I'm going to have my name attached or I'm going to do it, I really get very hands-on, which is exhausting, but you can sleep a lot better at night knowing that when you put your thumbprint on it, you feel really proud of being a part of it and you know that it's being done well.
Meghan is
okay, so there's that. Let me read some of the comments on that. That's the royal family in a nutshell. Show up with, and that's it. Like, sadly, this is all the royal family wants to do, which is why they try to destroy this woman. She exposed their... okay, let me stop for a second. From listening to this, where Meghan is, this is way before, way before Harry. I think that's the AOL interview where she met that squatty through Twitter, and then they met on the stage, and she wrote her a letter and things like that. Meghan had everything in the digital world. The royal family didn't bother to research. Instead, they're sending royal rights to the US and pay people to lie about her. Meanwhile, she had footprint all over, and she's telling them, she was telling the world what she's all about. Whatever is here, that's it. Oh, let's just do everything. Like, sadly, this is all the royal family wants to do, which is why they try to destroy this woman. She exposed their grift to the world. She showed the world that they should have been doing more. A real queen right there. Meghan's value came from earning it via education, empathy for others, and overwhelming need to help others live better life. And let's not forget Miss Doria. Miss Doria showed her this type of things. Okay, William and Charles were handed their value basically by being the firstborn. They didn't earn their value like a majority of people have earned their value. Okay, where was I? This, my girl, that them hate you for Meghan. You a hard worker, and you show them up. Your light can never be them. When was this interview done? First time hearing Meghan speak about just waving her hand. Ouch, that must have bruised some people. That was way before, way before she met Harry. All the royal family had to do is do some research online, just type her name. You know she was an actress. You know, there would be some stuff about her online. But no, they went berserk. Hire a private investigator, do all sort of crazy things. My goodness.
The Sun hired an American private investigator to obtain personal and private data on Meghan Markle and her father, Thomas Markle. The PI then sold illegally obtained data to the Sun, though the paper denies knowing that it was gotten illegally. The Sun immediately tasked notorious Los Angeles-based PI Dan Dano Hanks to mine Meghan's data after news broke in October 2016 that she was seeing Prince Harry. Hanks obtained her social security number by deception, a criminal offence in the US as it is in the UK. Hanks also stole the data of Meghan's half-brother, her mother Doria Ragland, her ex-husband and 2 rumoured former boyfriends. The same day, a secret dossier with this ill-gotten information and Meghan's mobile phone numbers and addresses was emailed by Hanks to his handler James Beale, the US editor of The Sun. Byline investigators seen an invoice for $2,000 for the work sent by Hanks to the Sun's London HQ and a remittance advice note proving that he was paid at least $750 for the information on 11 members of Meghan's family and friends. In his exclusive interview, Hanks described Meghan's social security number as a key identifier beyond the reach of legal searches, which would enable other PIs to dig deeper into confidential records, opening up all the other private data held on US government and state databases. The Vietnam veteran drove to the LA houses of Meghan and her father to photograph the properties, so that the Sun could commission specialist reporters and photographers to mount a stakeout of each. The very next day, James Beale, along with the paper's then royal correspondent Emily Andrews, wrote the first story about Meghan Markle and Prince Harry ever to appear in The Sun. The story contained the first fruits of Hanks' dossier, as The Sun had obtained a quote from Meghan's niece, Ashley Friedman, whose contact details were among the data that Hanks had sold. The Sun has never admitted ever having illegally obtained such information from any private investigator, and denies doing so in 2016 to Meghan and Harry.
Okay, so many Brits told Meghan to leave the UK. She did. So what the F are they still obsessing about her watching her every move and fly all the way to California to stalk her? her house and buy her products to screech like a bench sheet and articles after articles about not liking her. Why can't they leave Meghan alone? All right, so there's this here. Jen Moi. All right, let me pause for a second. This might be a video by itself. There's a possibility I might cut this video to around this spot. Okay. My trip to Meghan Markle's pop-up shop where even the Montecito said buck at £24 for a jar of honey. Okay. And then, oh, there was more. Okay, okay, I read this in video 1, but for the sake of this video, let's look at it. Can we please stop applauding celebrities like Meghan Markle for posing makeup free? The Duchess of Sussex has opted to go for a no makeup look for her Harper Bazaar cover shoot. But when bare female faces are only acceptable when they are radiant, blemish free and largely ageless, like Meghan's photo, like these become humble brags that do little to inspire or help rest of us. Right by Katie Wozinski. Video 1. What is it? JTB spoke about it. Okay, so there's other headlines. Inside, Meghan Montecito, John Moore visit the California home at the Duchess and find out exactly why she may never want to leave. Okay. Oh my goodness. Inside Harry's glitzy Montecito world as he turned 40, John Moore visit the enclave and poses the tantalizing question, what does the prince do all day? Oh my god. Could that be why I saw some headlines? Was it William works before 10 to 4 or something like that? Okay, jilted exes. They really don't get enough credit for being one of the most talked about couples and still managing to find a home where their children are protected from these weirdos. Well, Harry and Meghan worked their butt off to keep them private. They try, okay? When they first moved to the US, they tried to do that thing. What is it? Is it X? I have a video about that. Sending people around Tyler Perry's home, taking pictures in their backyard and all of that. Harry sued them. All right? They tried, because if Harry had let it go, it would have been even more. All right, he stopped them right when they began. The fact that British media keeps flying over there to try to invade their space with very little success. Okay, glowly, but it perfectly in a post, putting up there, she withdrew her star power from that island and the dying relevance of the gaslighting monarchy and pays them dust. Therein lays the whole problem they have with her, period. Okay, some kind of short path when you spend a chunk of charge to fly across an ocean to visit an upscale California community where few, if any, blink about the price of anything. That is true. That is true. Around that area, they have money. You know, they don't complain like them. Then you fly back and complain about the price because your readers evidently can afford heat, much less honey. Whatever is here that said, bottom up. These people are batshit crazy and have stepped way over the line where Meghan and Harry are concerned. This is called stalking, period. Let them buy her product. Meanwhile, they are helping her grow her brand. I love it for her and that family. There's one tweet I responded to, and I said, pretty much by doing that, at first I thought by putting it at Godmother's, and I'm like, it's to bring traffic. And little did I know, with my small-minded, there she is. She's not only helping the economy, she's helping the airline industry. She's probably helping the, how do you call this, where hotel industry and all of that, hospitality and all of that. So these people are flying from their homeland to go in person to go buy it. Hey, she's helping all sort of industries. All right, Peggy's sick note, and the others don't get clicks or sell papers. The biggest issue they have is that their prince has gone with her. That's what eats them up every single day. Well, they should take that to HR, human resources. Go to William, because it's William who kicked him out. These people have some mental illness. Yeah, it's beyond mental. I can never understand why they keep following everything on someone they claim to hate. Meghan has no impact on their lives, but they are obsessed with everything she does. These people are missing a short school. It's more than short school. I think I read that. Let's go to the next tweet. The royal family big mistake. I think I did something wrong. Did I put the wrong? Okay, so that's JTB. Regarding the article again. Alright, since I have it, let me put it again. It's in video 1, JTB's video. This article was pure jealousy in print, all that fake analysis just to mask how pressed the writer was about Meghan glowing on a cover without even trying. The cringe was loud. Alright, so let's listen to this. I think that's the one with the, that talks about Meghan going makeup free.
This article doesn't read like journalism. It sounds like a jealous meltdown typed through tears and insecurity. But before we unpack it, is this you, Katie? I thought so. The jealousy in this piece is radioactive. Katie Rosinsky wrote like someone who saw Meghan Sussex breathe on a magazine cover and felt personally attacked. Every sentence dripping with envy so thick, it should have come with a mop. This was a diary entry from a hater who forgot to keep it private. The moment you called regular women civilian goblins, just told on yourself. That was the loudest cry for help the internet has heard in weeks. Your tone is giving why is she glowing and why am I not energy, and tried to hide it behind fake intellectual sass. But the bitterness spilled through, like the cracked foundation on your face. You said Meghan's no makeup shoot was branding. The only branding I saw was your jealousy, seared into an article like a watermark. It was emotional leakage. You wrote like someone who desperately wanted to say, I wish that were me, but settled for a passive-aggressive blog post. The envy was loud, the insecurity louder, the desperation deafening. If you're going to write out of jealousy, at least own it. Because this entire article read like a hate fan confession, written by someone who can't stand that Meghan is effortlessly gorgeous, while you're fighting for your life trying not to look like a civilian goblin. Your words, not mine. So let's remind everyone what you're working with. And the next time you feel this jealous, just journal, don't publish it.
Alright, so I'm not gonna comment on it. It's in video 1. I've put it twice on the list.
It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life. this together. And if I may speak personally, we are all in this together. Because asking for help was one of the best decisions that I ever made. You will be continually amazed how life changes for the better